Sosi Tatikyan is a former UN diplomat and peacekeeper. Looking at the developments in Nagorno-Karabakh in the past 10 days, how much responsibility does the West bear?
I think that international community let Nagorno-Karabakh Armenians down. Those people are triple victimized because there was a large-scale war in 1990s initiated by Azerbaijan in response to their self-determination movement in a situation very much like the Kosovo conflict. Then there was a large-scale war in 2020 that ended with Azerbaijan's military victory. And then there is this situation now that started with violations of ceasefire by Azerbaijan right after concluding the ceasefire, and then 10 months of terrible blockade that became total blockade 3 months ago, causing starvation and malnutrition of the population. And then it ended with this military operation and forcible displacement. And the West was practicing this soft diplomacy and basically very much trying to convince Nagorno-Karabakh Armenians to accept so-called integration by Azerbaijan. However, integration didn't mean the same thing as in the West. It was basically subjugation leading to ethnic cleansing, and that's exactly what happened. And basically there was no any international presence, no international peacekeeping mission to protect those people. So this is a violation of the principles of self-determination, responsibility to protect civilians and leave no one behind.
You compare this to Kosovo. Are you saying that officials have been turning a blind eye to what's going on?
Yeah, the thing is that those two conflicts, Nagorno-Karabakh and Kosovo, started in a very similar manner in 1990s. However, the dynamics were very different afterwards because international community and the West in particular made a humanitarian intervention in Kosovo and deployed international peacekeeping mission and gradually granted remedial secession and earned sovereignty to Kosovo. And it didn't extend its hand to Nagorno-Karabakh Armenians. Instead, Armenia as a state had to intervene in 1990s to prevent their ethnic cleansing. And now, since Armenia experienced this difficult situation facing Azerbaijani military aggression both to Nagorno-Karabakh and to Armenia proper since 2020, it found itself pressured not to help and de-associate itself in sense of any possible intervention. And international community didn't step in to play its role. There was no UN Security Council resolution. There was no EU statement agreed by all EU member states. There was neither a EU CSDP mission.
But Sosi, in this case, there were Russian peacekeepers in the country, weren't there?
Sorry, but Russian peacekeepers were questioned since the very beginning because they didn't have an international mandate. They consisted only of military contingent, which is not exactly a full peacekeeping architecture, usually consisting of also police and political and human rights, humanitarian and development components. So all of those components were completely missing. And Russia is already a stigmatized country, and it was promoting its geopolitical agenda and allying more and more with Azerbaijan. And it was laundering its gas to through Azerbaijan to Europe.
So why wasn't there more pressure from the EU and US on Azerbaijan?
Part of this was geopolitics because Azerbaijan is considered an important supplier of gas. However, as I mentioned, it's basically, in order to meet its commitments to the European Union, it has doubled its import from Gazprom of Russia and using Lukoil, Russian company infrastructure. So basically, it's laundering the Russian gas to Europe for a higher price. And also because Azerbaijan was using this coercive diplomacy and exercising military offensive every time to pressure Armenia, and the international community found itself powerless to exercise leverage on Azerbaijan, and instead it was exercising soft diplomacy instead of imposing sanctions and using tough language with Azerbaijan.
Sosi Tatikyan, thank you very much for the insights. We'll have to leave it there, sorry.
Thank you. Thank you.